Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering you are 10 years behind where you should be financially. Not because you were lazy, not because you made terrible decisions, but because nobody explained one simple concept. Opportunity cost. It's the cost of every year you delay learning how money works. And the data is stark. A person who starts investing at 22 and stops at 32, investing for just 10 years, will end up with more money at 65 than someone who starts at 32 and invests every single year until 65. 33 years of investing, beaten by 10 years of starting earlier. That is what opportunity cost does when it compounds. And once you understand it, you will start seeing money very differently. The financial mistake that costs most people 10 years. Episode 7 of the You'd See Wealth Building series. If this changes how you think, share it with someone who needs to hear it. The most expensive mistake nobody notices. Most financial mistakes feel obvious when they happen. A bad investment. Credit card debt. A scam. You feel them. You know they hurt. But the biggest financial mistake is completely invisible. Because it doesn't feel like a mistake when you're making it. It feels normal. Comfortable. Reasonable. It's the decision to wait. Wait until you earn more. Wait until you understand more. Wait until the timing feels right. Waiting feels responsible. But what you cannot see is the compounding returns you're missing on every single day that passes. In dollars, pounds, euros, or rupees, the math is the same. Time is the input that cannot be replaced. And waiting is the most expensive decision most people never notice they're making. The story. Imagine two friends. Both 22 years old. Both the same salary. Friend A says, "I'll figure out money later." Friend B says, "I'll start learning now." Year 1, no visible difference. Year 2, no visible difference. Year 5 still looks almost identical. But under the surface, everything is changing. Friend B has been putting $500 a month into a broad index fund. $500. In pounds, that's 395. In euros, 465. In rupees, 42,000. At 10% average annual returns by year 10, Friend B has approximately $100,000 compounding. By year 20, it's $280,000 without adding another dollar. Friend A, who started 10 years later with the same $500 a month, has less than half that amount at the same age. Same person. Same income. Same discipline. Different starting point. The gap isn't talent. It's time. The compound effect nobody sees. Most people expect financial progress to happen in a straight line. Work hard. Earn more. Save more. See results. But that's not how compounding works. The biggest rewards arrive late. The first few years feel boring. The first few years feel pointless. The first few years feel slow. But here is what's actually happening. Year 1 at 10% on $10,000, $1,000 gained. Year 10 at 10% on $25,000, $2,500. Year 20 at 10% on $67,000, $6,700. Year 30 at 10% on $170,000, $17,000 in a single year. The number in year 30 generates more in 12 months than the total invested in the first 5 years. That's why most people quit. They judge the process before the results show up. They expect to see a straight line. What compounding actually looks like is a hockey stick. Flat for years. Then explosive. Why this matters more today than ever before. Previous generations had more room for financial mistakes. Housing was cheaper relative to income. Education was cheaper. Living costs were lower. The consequences of delaying financial literacy were significant, but survivable. Today the environment is different. In the United States, the median home price has increased over 50% in the last 5 years. In the United Kingdom, it's up 38%. In India, major city property prices have doubled in a decade. Student debt in the US has crossed $1.7 trillion. Inflation eroded purchasing power more in the last 3 years than in the prior decade. A 5-year delay in financial education today can feel like a 15-year setback. Not because you failed. Because the cost of waiting has risen faster than most people realize. Time, not money, has become the scarcest resource in personal finance. The real lesson. This video isn't about investing strategies. It's not about picking stocks. It's not about crypto or property or any specific asset class. It's about realizing that every year you delay learning how money works, the cost compounds. And unlike money, you cannot earn time back. Consider this question. If someone handed you an extra $10,000 today, you'd be excited. But what if someone handed you an extra 10 years? $10,000 invested at 22 at 10% returns becomes over $280,000 by 65. In pounds, 7,900 today becomes 220,000. In euros, 9,300 becomes 260,000. In rupees, 800,000 today becomes 233 million. The 10,000 was just a number. The 10 years was the real asset. Most people never ask which is worth more. The wealthy do. That question is why the gap exists. But here's the part that surprises most people. Even people who understand opportunity cost, even people who start early, even people who invest consistently, still feel broke. Why? Because the rules of money changed. And almost nobody noticed. Income is higher than ever, but so is everything else. The standard of a comfortable life has been repriced. And the gap between earning and feeling financially secure has never been wider. In the next episode, we're talking about why nobody feels rich anymore, even when they're earning more than ever before. Subscribe to UDC and turn on notifications. It's the one that connects everything. Drop a comment, tell me where you are in your financial journey. Starting out? Midway? Feeling stuck? I read every reply.